Hello everyone, and welcome to another Ask an Expert live chat from the European Environment Agency in Copenhagen. My name is Antti Kaartinen, I work here in communications, and I'm here today with Usue Donesar, who's an expert on Copernicus program, and we'll talk about Copernicus program for this live chat. And I just want to remind you that if you have questions about what we discuss or something you want to comment, you can always post those in the comment section of the live stream. We are streaming on Twitter and LinkedIn, and you can use both those platforms to ask your questions. But we'll just kick it off by introducing you, Usue. Can you tell a little bit about what you do at the European Environment Agency?
Well, hello. So my job currently, I am the project manager for Copernicus here at the agency since the 1st of July. And well, as such, my role is to lead the project, so to speak, that we are managing here at the EEA and to coordinate the actions among our team members.
Great. And what is the Copernicus program? I think most of our viewers don't know what that is. Can you explain briefly what is the Copernicus program?
The Copernicus program is an amazing program, and I think it's we always say something. We always say the same sentence, which is the Copernicus program is the most ambitious Earth observation program in the world. And we always say it because it's true. It includes the observation of the observation and the monitoring of the land, of the different aspects of what can be observed by satellites, and it includes three components. We have the space components that have all the satellites around the Earth watching us. We have the in situ component, which has a network of in situ stations. And then we have the 6 monitoring services, which are managed by different entities. And these services include the atmosphere, include the climate change, the security, emergency management, marine and land monitoring service.
Wow! So basically, we have satellites in space,
yes,
looking at the Earth, and then we have some sensors on land. That's the in situ component, and then we have these services that are collecting this data and making use of that data and making it available.
Yes, that's it. And what is also very, which is a total game changer, is that it is data are free and open to everybody, except for the data, of course, which is created by the security service. Right. But for the rest, everyone can access the data and everyone can use it.
Wonderful. And everybody can use it, and also the European Environment Agency, the EEA, we are also using the data, and we have ambitions of using that more. What is the link between the EEA and Copernicus?
The EEA has been entrusted by the European Commission to manage the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service in Europe, because the Land Monitoring Service is divided into two. One is the global component that creates the products at global scale, and the other one is a European component. And the both portfolio of both components are linked, and there's more or less a one-to-one link between both. And the European Environment Agency is responsible to manage the one that is related to Europe. So we created those products over Europe. And besides that, we are also responsible to manage to coordinate the in situ access. So what we do is we coordinate the access of the in situ data that is made available by the member states.
Okay, so these would be sensors within member states that they are kind of providing that link and then connecting those at the EEA. Okay. And the Land Monitoring Service, that's the primarily what the EEA works on. And what kind of service does that provide? What is the Land Monitoring Service? What's the focus of that?
What we create is mainly based on Earth observation data, based on satellite data. We create products that can serve different purposes, and one example is land cover data, which is information on what is over the land. And a good example of this is the Colin land cover, which has been updated over the years. We have quite a consistent time series. Another option, another example would be the tree cover density. What we do is, per each of the pixels that cover the Europe, that cover the area of interest, we say how much tree cover is there. And we do this on a regular basis. We create these products on a regular basis, mainly most of them with a 3-yearly update.
Right. And so when you say that the land monitoring, it basically, so the satellites are looking at the Earth, and then they create an image, and then you can see from that image if it's buildings, or if it's roads, or if it's fields or forests, or these kind of things. And these can change over time when we build environment, or if we abandon some land, or that's the idea, right?
That's the idea. And the one of the added value of, well, apart from, we create these products for different dates, and the analysis of the evolution of these products with time is very valuable, because it can give us information on how land cover change, and how and thus create indicators on how the environment, and to monitor the environment.
Yeah, because that would have a meaning for the quality of the environment, and how our ecosystems work, or how the different areas are connected or not connected with each other.
Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. Yeah. I just want to remind our viewers that you can ask questions from us, and there is actually one question already from Ertugrul Altun, and he's asking if the observation data can calculate air pollution, and if it does, how's that coordinating, and which organizations are informed? So I guess where the data goes. Do we know that?
Yeah, and it's true that so among the Sentinel satellites, there's a satellite which is focused on air quality, and this is being currently used by the ECMWF, who is in charge of the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service.
So this is another organization.
Yeah, that's another organization. Yeah. What is interesting in this new phase of Copernicus, because we had the first phase covered from 2014 to 2021, and now we just entered another 7-year phase, is that we are now going to create what we are called thematic hubs.
Right.
And these thematic hubs will be single entry points to gather information on different topics. The agency will be in charge of the biodiversity thematic hub, and the ECMWF will be in charge of the health thematic hub that will include the monitoring of air pollution.
Okay. And would that also, because we also work with this network of in situ air quality monitoring stations, where we have thousands of stations around Europe, and where we get hourly data on air quality. Would those be linked as well somehow?
Of course. Yes.
Okay, so this is the combination where you get sort of local data from the sensors, and then also satellite data, and you can get a very accurate picture. Thank you. Another question. This is from Rabi Hamid, and he's asking how users can access the data. So you said the data is available for public. Can we share a link to allow us to check these data? So I think we'll just do that. We'll share a link. But yeah, can you elaborate on who, like, if I went there, what would I be able to find and use, and are these kind of like for somebody who can go there and kind of make sense of it, or do you need some advanced computing skills or data analysis before it becomes something that for human consumption?
Okay, that actually depends on the product. We have so up until now, all of our products were available in the Copernicus Land Monitoring Portal, the Copernicus Land Portal, and these products, most of them are ready-to-use products. So let's say I want to have a product on Natura 2000 sites. and I just download the product and I can just use it on my own area of interest. That was up until now with the change, with the inclusion of Sentinel data, what we are now creating are products which are near real time.
Right.
And that of course entails a huge load, a huge volume of data. And for those products, we have moved to Wikeo, which is a DIAS, which is on cloud. And there we have some of our products are only available in Wikeo.
Okay.
Which are mainly the ones that have near real-time data, which are the vegetation, phenology, and productivity, and the snow and ice.
Right.
For the rest, all of them are available in the land portal.
And Wikeo is a type of a data service.
Yes,
where you can,
that's it.
Where you can download data or
yeah.
Okay.
But and it's true that the data available in Wikeo is not so ready to use.
Right.
So you would still need some processing, and you would still need to have some knowledge
to make sense of
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we now go into the use cases of this data. I have a question about how can European citizens benefit from the Copernicus data. We already touched upon air quality, which I think is very relevant for us. What are the other use cases? How are organizations using the satellite data, or how it can be used?
Well, it can be used in different. We can. Let me put an example of Natura 2000. This is used to monitor the evolution of grasslands, for instance. We can also use. We have also a product which is in coastal zones, and that can be used by different entities or policymakers to see how the evolution on land cover and land use. Because there's a difference between both. Land use is what you actually use something for, while land cover is what, and let me put an example. Land cover could be building, land use could be hospital.
Right. And
there's a big difference between both. And we have a product that depicts land cover and land use in coastal areas. And if I was a policy maker, if I could use this product, which has been already updated twice, to see what the evolution of it, and to see which measures can we implement to protect the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually a related question. This is from Cristina Roman. She's asking what information data is collected, for example, by Copernicus to monitor climate change or biodiversity loss. So I guess this would be kind of linked to biodiversity loss.
Yes.
If we monitor how much nature there is
Yes.
left, or if we are able to increase natural areas or protected areas, then this would be the things that satellites could see.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's also, we have just now started the production of the high resolution layer vegetated land cover characteristics.
Yeah.
That would include information on forest or on tree cover, information on grassland, and on crop types. And the information that will be created on a yearly basis in that frame will serve the purpose to monitor biodiversity or loss of biodiversity.
Yeah.
And actually, and a good example of that as well would be the small woody features that is going to be used to monitor an impact indicator in the frame of the CAP, of the Common Agricultural Policy.
Okay, well, more questions coming in, which is nice. This is from Karishma. Is there a way we can check the nutrients content of BOD? I wonder what BOD stands for, like nitrogen content, ammonia, using Sentinel-3 OLCI. There's a lot of abbreviations that I'm not aware of. I'm not sure if you are. So basically she's asking this question to check if we can kind of deduct the main cause of the Oder River algal bloom. Maybe this relates to water. So can the satellite see, look at the river, for example, and see what kind of nutrients are in that river? Is that?
Yeah, but what we can do, what we do see is on the water quality. So this is actually related to water quality, and we can see if there are algae bloom going on, and we could not. I actually am not an expert on this, but I would. But this on water quality is one of the things that we want the service to evolve on. Up until now, we were only monitoring the water, the permanent water, and the moisture, and the soil moisture. And in the future, we want to include the monitoring of water quality as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned soil moisture, so because I found this really amazing. That there's a satellite looking at the Earth from, I don't know how far high up they are, but then it can detect how much moisture is in the soil by some sort of approximation at least. Yeah,
well, actually what we do, we approximate it to soil moisture. What we do is we measure wetness. Yeah. But it is indeed possible up to a certain point to measure, to see how moist the soil is, yes.
Oh, yeah. We have more questions coming in, which is very good. I need to even scroll back because there's too many of them. There's Francesca saying, I'm trying to access Copernicus. Anybody can log in. Is it for free? I think we covered that already. Yeah. It is for free for everybody. So everybody can access that, including outside Europe. Then there is a question from Stephen. Is data of sufficient quality to allow capture of flooding for extreme events? Meaning, can we capture the peak of an extreme event to allow for calibration of model? So basically, can we detect the depth of water or the flood heights from Copernicus data?
We are. This is not included in the Land Monitoring Service. Yeah. This is managed by the Emergency Management Service, right. And they do have the within the early warning component of the service. They have EFAS, which stands for European Flood Awareness System, and there they do monitor. They do model floods. So what here in the land monitoring, what we do is we monitor the presence of water, but we do not enter into flood or not flood.
So there's a different use case.
Yes, and I also have to say is that the information provided by EFAS is not publicly available, together with the one with the security, because of course it can be sensitive information.
Yeah. Then there's a question from Milan. This goes to the tree cover density data, and he's asking if there are plans or possibilities in the future to enhance the resolution, saying that it's currently 10 by 10 meters, for example, to single tree data, and saying that especially in urban areas, this higher resolution would have benefits. Maybe we can also talk about the evolution of Copernicus services.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know if we know concretely already.
What I can say with respect to spatial resolution, some of our products that were updated in 2018 benefit from the inclusion of Sentinel data, and that included that entailed a change in the spatial resolution. We moved to 20 to 10 meters. Yeah. In the new update of this product, this spatial resolution is not going to be changed. Okay. And the reason for this is that while we of course need to include all the new data, new or more with higher spatial resolution data we have available, we also need to ensure the coherence across a long time, and we need to deliver products that are comparable a long time. Yeah. What I would say, so in this 10 meter spatial resolution will not move. Mm-hmm. What I would say is that in the case of urban trees, we do have for the Urban Atlas product, we do have a layer which is called a street tree layer that depicts trees in urban areas. And we also have the small woody features product, which are both of them based on very high resolution imagery, and those can be used in urban areas to see the different trees. And of course, single trees is maybe too ambitious, but we do map quite maybe not single, but yes,
small areas.
Small areas, yes.
Or even maybe a big tree could be 10 meters wide from above.
Yeah.
Well, so we started talking about the evolution as well, and also your role here. What are your goals for the next couple of years, and how do you see the Copernicus services or how the data is being used evolve? Have you any thought about that?
Well, one of the things is, as I said before, we need to give the portfolio consistency, coherency. So a lot of changes happened in the last years with the inclusion of Sentinel data. We also launched a complete new service, which is the European Ground Motion Service, which is something a truly game changer. And
you should actually tell about that, because I found this
yes.
one really impressive and
that
almost
is a
incredible.
very impressive. It is based on radar data on Sentinel-1, and what it does, it monitors it monitors the changes in the altitude. I mean, how the ground
if it sinks
moves.
or raises, or
yes.
And the accuracy?
Its accuracy in the vertical part, it's of millimeters. It's a very good. It has a very, very good accuracy.
I find that incredible. I mean, literally, it's hard to believe that from a satellite you could see if my house sinks 5 millimeters, which is of course nice to know if somebody's monitoring that.
Yeah, it's actually true that the data that we are releasing, we and this brings me to the next part of the evolution. We need to boost the user uptake, and one of the things we need to increase is the capacity. We need to put the focus on capacity building, so people can actually know how to interpret the data. And the ground motion service actually it needs some. It needs some training to be able to interpret the data, because it's not that as easy as my house is sinking, and we definitely that's not the message we want to send. So but it is true that apart from, as I said before, apart from giving some consistency to ensure that the project evolves well, one of the things that we are going to put the focus on is on user uptake and boosting communication as well. And to make sure that we are known, that our products that are easily accessible, and one of the things, and for that we are preparing webinars, we are preparing trainings, we are also preparing a land user event that will be held in November. And I think that with this, once we have everyone on board, then we will be able to draft the evolution on that.
Another question again from Sofia. Who's a postdoc researcher at the Institute of Public Health in Porto. And she's asking, what is the temporal scale of the available land cover, land use data, and the air pollution data? So I guess for how long series do we have these data? So for the air pollution data, I'm afraid I'm not the right person. For the land cover, land use, that depends on the product actually. So we have one of our flagship products is Corin Land Cover that goes back until 1990 and has been updated every 6 years since 2000. For the rest of the land cover data, so mainly high resolution layers, those have an update frequency of 3 years. Okay. For the vegetation phenology and productivity, that has it's, as I said before, it's near real time. Okay. Yeah. But basically everything that has been produced is still available also, the historic series. Yes, everything is available, all the data. To find the right data sets that one would need. Yeah. That's very good. I think we've covered a lot of ground on Copernicus, and I've also learned a lot. If people want to know more about the Copernicus services, even either those we use here at the EEA or other places, where can they go to find out about the trainings you mentioned, the webinars? If you're working in a sector that you could use, for example, the ground motion service data, where should people go? Well, for the Copernicus in general, copernicus.eu, that there's a lot of information there. For the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service, it should be copernicus.land.eu. Okay. Yeah. But there's a central hub as well where you can access all these different services. And, if you know what you're looking for, then there's a way to navigate around that. Yeah, that's actually one of the points that people, sometimes it's difficult to know what you are looking for if you do not know the product. And one of the efforts we are going to do is to talk about the fit for purpose. So for what should
people use our products and when and yes.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. I think we've covered a lot of things we wanted to discuss. Any last thoughts that we didn't cover?
Not much. I think that what I always say to everyone: go to the land portal, have a look at the products, make questions. We are open to receiving all questions. Ask for more to us because we are here for you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Usue, for being here with us. We'll be back with more Ask an Expert chats in near future, so follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, and we'll let you know. Thanks, everyone.